Well, the same thing I said in day one, and I'll continue to say. Let's learn from this game. Let's get better tomorrow, and let's go win a hockey game on Thursday. That's what you have to continue to do. You have to continue to get better. You have to continue to improve as a team, and you got to continue to go out there and do everything you can to get a result, and then you start again.
Jeff, how do you explain those first 14 minutes? I think you had hardly any offensive zone time at all.
Well, we didn't execute very well. I mean, I can tell you that our guys this morning looked sharp, unreal sharp. You certainly don't want to give up one early to a team that's coming off a trip like that, and for whatever reason, we had a hard time executing.
When you see how strong you finished and how much sense of urgency there was in the third, how do you feel about it not being there to start the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the locker room. I think there was a sense of urgency to start the game. I don't think there wasn't a sense of urgency. There's been lots of times where it almost, to me, felt a little bit like those times where, I talked about this being a game where this was the fifth game in a segment for us. If we won it, we were a playoff team in the segment. If we didn't, we weren't. And it looked to me like a team that was a little bit tight, to be dead honest with you. I've had moments of teams where, this team where maybe you didn't show up and I had to come in here and really give it to them. I didn't give it to them at all. For whatever reason, we were a little bit tight. For whatever reason, everything we did seemed to not work. And we had to continue to work ourselves out of it. But we were fine. It was 2-1. Made a little error at the end of the second. We were at the end of the first to make it 2-1, but we were fine at that point. We got to find a way to score goals.
Is it gut check time overall, though, at this point in the season, where you're at?
I think it's gut check every day in this league, and tomorrow's going to be gut check again. I think it's. I mean, we can make a huge deal out of it, but is there a sense of urgency? Absolutely. Was there a sense of urgency coming into today? Absolutely. But that's not going to cease. But I'd also say, I think if you were the Pittsburgh Penguins, I bet you Mike Sullivan's saying the same thing to them, and they got to have one of the best records in the league. So the sense of urgency is going to continue to be real high. We have to continue to go out and like I said earlier, we got to find a way to get better tomorrow, and we got to find a way to win a hockey game on Thursday. Is it frustrating? Sure, but we better put the frustration behind it because it doesn't do anybody any good at all.
Henrik said a lot of it is on players, but as a coaching staff, I mean, when the execution is lacking, like what do you look at it? How much of it is your responsibility, or what part of it is your coaching?
Well, ultimately, the performance of this team is my responsibility 100%. So, I accept tons of responsibility for that. Again, when I think our guys aren't ready to play, I get on them. When I think our effort level isn't there, I get on them. We had a hard time putting passes together early. I don't know the reason why, but I came in here, I said we got a lot better. We talked about some things we got to be better at. We got kicked in the gut at the end of the first period. We got to pick ourselves up and keep fighting. We're going to go through chances. We're going to see we had tons and tons and tons and tons of chances, whether it was early in the game with Riley Sheehan. I think that was the first shift or second shift of the game. It didn't count as a so I think the second shift of the game, Riley Sheehan had a big-time chance. We had chances in the second, we had chances in the third. That's what we're going to see on tape. That's an absolute fact. We got to find a way to score. We're going to continue to work on those ways to score, and we got to find a way to get a victory on Thursday.
Just talk about your level of concern. As high right now as it's been.
I guess I don't. Again, I think coaches look at it different than other people. Do we need wins? Absolutely, we need wins. Are we going to make up, like right now today, after whatever segment this was, we're -6. So we got to make up 6 points, which means we got to get 6 out of 10 points just to stay even, and then we got to either get 7 to 10 to start to gain ground. We're not making that up in one game. We're going to make it up by next segment getting 7 points. The segment after that getting 8 points. The segment after that getting 6 points. The segment after that getting 7 points. That's how it works. You don't go all of a sudden and just turn a switch and get the results you want. I think over the last number of games, we've actually played good hockey. If we've been playing really poor hockey, I'd be very, very, very concerned. I don't see it that way. I don't let emotion cloud me. I can tell you the game against Columbus, I thought we did tons of good things. The game against Philadelphia, we did tons of good things. One of those teams has the best record, or one of the best records in the league. One of them just won 9 straight. both games by chances. The predictor would say we should have won. We didn't. We came out tonight. The chances would say we should have won. We didn't. But what you can't do is panic. What you have to do is have a high sense of urgency. There's a fine line between that. There's going to be zero panic from me. We're going to go out on tomorrow. We're going to get better. We're going to go Thursday. We're going to try to win a hockey game in game number 1 of this next segment. We're going to try to come out of this next segment plus. So we're going to get 6 or more points. We're going to come out plus, and we're going to start clawing our way back to where we want to be. That's how it works.
You talk about the Columbus game and the Philly game, and then Arizona comes in tonight. Is there ever a sense that you see your team play up or down to the competition you're facing?
I guess, guys, if I didn't see again for that stretch in the first, we didn't have enough shots. I get that. We struggled after they scored. Did it take us a while to pick ourselves up after they scored? Maybe. Did we get rattled a little bit? I don't know, maybe. I can't answer that. These guys would have to tell you that. But for whatever reason. But if you look at the game in totality, we had tons of opportunities. Did we play down to our competition? I don't think so. I think in the end we had tons of opportunities. We got to find ways to score. We're getting big-time chances. We're getting breakaways. We're getting all alone in front of the net. We're not scoring. I believe those will go in. You got to continue to get those chances.
How definite to see you doing this new assignment?
I thought he skated the best in the third. I thought he skated his best in the third. Overall, I thought Thomas Vanek was excellent. I thought him and Z were our 2 best players tonight. So his competitive level, Thomas's competitive level, I think made that line a real impactful line. I thought Double A in the third was starting to skate a little bit more, starting to be a little more engaged the way he needs to be.
You lost Marchenko along the way. What's the deal with him?
Day to day.